Hello, I'm Rick Anthony, and this is Race for Peace, a movement that was started about a year and a half ago by a young man who had an idea, a dream, and has been enormously successful in bringing over 100 people into the movement that he started to reduce violence in our community and to get people involved. My co-host today is Andrew Howell, who is the founder
Rick.
of Race for Peace. And with us today are two of the charter members of the movement you started.
Yes.
Who are your guests?
Well, today I have Lower Marion Township Superintendent of Police, Michael J. McGrath, and I also have the Township of Haverford's Chief of Police, John Viola.
We're safe. We're safe, at least for the next 15 minutes. We're safe. Okay. Gentlemen, I understand you were charter members, and Mike, I understand you were the first member. Can you give us a little history on that? You've known him for a long time.
Yeah. Andrew used to be a resident of Ardmore in Lower Marion Township, and actually worked for the township at one point in his career. So about a year and a half ago, as you said, Andrew reached out to me and said, there's a lot of issues going on. The big concern, and obviously the national discussion is about policing and the relationship between communities and the police departments that serve them. So he said, can we get together and discuss it? I said, sure, let's get together and do that. One of the first things that really impressed me was Andrew says, this isn't about so much racism and racial issue. This is about, for me, how can we make the world better for my grandchildren? And that really struck me. And really, as adults, and trying to contribute to society, what is one of the most important things we can do is make things better for future generations.
Now, John, you had a similar story, I think.
Yeah, I got a call one day from this guy, Andrew Howell. I had no idea who he was. And he pitched an idea to me. And I thought, well, it's a great idea, but I don't know Andrew Howell. So I called Mike McGrath, my neighbor in Lower Marion, and asked him about Andrew. So he said, Andrew's a good guy. He's got a great idea. And Andrew's got a very strong magnetism to get you on board. And he sold me. And I believed in what he's doing and his ideas and what he's trying to achieve, bring the law enforcement into the communities and have these open discussions. It's something that we have bought into, and I firmly believe in, and I believe in Andrew.
There's something about this that continues to puzzle me. We've been having this series here at Radnor Studio 21, visiting with people who have joined Race for Peace, are very, very ardent about the movement, and they're coming from different perspectives. Excuse me, educators, law enforcement, sports we're going to be having soon, academics, and so on. Now, there are other movements. There have been other movements. There are other people who are hanging flags and whatnot and saying, we need peace, we need... What was different about this and this guy that got you guys hooked? Mike, you have known him for a long time, but John, he was new to you. What was there about what he said, how he said it, that got you
First of all,
hooked?
his ideas, he's his personality, you want to listen to him. He's sincere in what he wants to do. And it wasn't about black or white, police versus this. It was just, let's bring us all together. Let's discuss. Let's talk about things. Let's open it up. Give some ideas. What are your problems? What are our problems? So we can have an open dialogue and we know what the community feels about us and what we feel about the community, and have these discussions. And it's been very successful everywhere we have went. And he's got us in all kinds of different neighborhoods. We've had these open discussions. I always walked away feeling as a better person after those meetings.
And what have you learned as a result of it?
Well, what I have learned that there is some distrust amongst communities, no matter what color they are, because nationally, police are in the headlines sometimes, good or bad, and you don't always get the whole story. So when we are able to tell our story and they tell their story, it gives a better level of understanding for everybody.
And you've had a similar experience, Mike?
Absolutely. It really isn't about trying to say this side's right or that side's wrong. It's everybody listening to each other and having more of a cooperative relationship going on. And we've seen that, as John touched upon, all these various forums or summits or events that we've been involved in. You really see that sometimes, whether it's an hour and a half meeting or some all-day event where we meet people at the King of Prussia Mall, for instance, and more casual type of thing. You see, just relationships develop right there, and a sense that people have a better understanding of each other by being involved.
Andrew, how are you getting the message down into the schools? Because that's where it's got to start.
Well, we get in contact with the ones that's in charge of the schools, whether it's the principal or the dean of students, like it was at the Girard Prep School in Philadelphia. And we talk to their staff, and some people, actually, we know some people that already work in educational field, and we just take that route and just go run with it. And, you know, I like to hear what John and Mike has to say about the basketball event that we had. Both of these guys were there, and I like to hear what Mike experienced. He actually played.
Well, I recognized I was a lot older than when I first started playing basketball. And John was sitting in the audience laughing.
I
at
watched.
it.
I knew better.
But no, it was a great opportunity to, I guess the age group was upper high school age
Right.
kids, right? And we played, the team was made up of officers and the kids together, playing each other instead of just police against the kids, so it was mixed. And it was just an opportunity to have, you know, obviously play basketball.
Yes.
Have a good time, interact, you know, very casual situation. And, you know, when you do stuff like that, titles and uniforms and different, you know, where you are in the community just melts away. And you just become closer.
So, Mike, you're involved in events that are outside of Lower Merion, and John, you're involved in
Likewise.
outside
Yes.
of Haverford.
Yeah.
And is that the way the movement is supposed to work? Taking
Yes.
people from their districts, their geographies,
Exactly.
and bringing them all together?
Exactly, because where do we live? We live in the United States of America. So when are we going to start acting united? You know, so this is one way and one tool, one vehicle that unites us, no matter what color you are, what sex you are, how old you are, what political affiliation or what religious sector that you belong to. We're all one. And I think that's one of the major things with the Race for Peace is that we're all one. We're all one unit. You know, we're all on this planet together. So we have to learn how to, you know, learn each other's differences and cooperate with each other and try to get inside the mindsets of people, you know, so they could change and make this a better place for us. And I really appreciate Michael McGrath and John Viola. These guys are incredible. Once again, the Race for Peace is incredible. But these guys are, and I wasn't shocked. I was not shocked that these guys came aboard the way they did. It was just natural. You know, I had its fruition from God, and it
Well,
was just
the
natural.
timing was certainly right. As you said, Mike, the country was on fire, and we needed something to calm things down and get people back to talking to one another.
Well, that was the key. You know, this is a national issue. Communities across the country
Yes.
discussing the police departments and the relationship with their community. And what we talked about very early on is this should not be a piecemeal approach to this. You know, what happens in Philadelphia or what happens down in Delco or up in Bucks County impacts the region. So why not take a regional approach to addressing this? And just, you know, following up on what Andrew and John talked about, the contacting with the police departments, there was really no pushback, and people immediately embraced it and said, yeah, how can we get involved? So we're involved with the city of Philadelphia. We're involved with Bucks County, Montgomery County, Delaware County, and Chester County. And we will go anywhere. Anybody will invite us in and set up a place for us to have a forum or any kind of event, we're there.
But this sits on top of the programs each of your districts has, outreach programs into the
Oh,
community.
certainly.
Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
So it doesn't conflict, doesn't fight with them.
no.
It's a complement to what you're already doing.
Yes.
And what do you see as the future, the vision? What will we be talking about a year from now? If you have 108 or so members now
Yes.
who have signed on to the movement, are active in it, attend events and so on, what will it look like a year from now?
Well, hopefully it'll look like 3 different individuals up here. You'll still be here, but I'm hoping that and praying that we reach and teach and get to these individuals that are younger. You know, so there'll be three younger folks up here, and it'll push the program. And that's one of our goals, you know, and the senior citizens. I love my senior citizens, you know, and they can be involved and do whatever they can do in their spare time if they have extra time. I love my senior citizens.
Boy, I agree. If you could tap into grandparents, I believe that has been an untapped resource. Nobody has been able to, or even tried, I guess, to mobilize grandparents who care so deeply about their grandkids and want to participate in trying to protect them, assure their security, education, and so on. If you could tap into grandparents, there is, in fact, a what's it called? It happens to be the Catholic Grandparents Association conference that's coming up in August.
Yes.
where they're hoping to get about 200 people. Maybe we should put you in touch with those people.
Definitely, and I think Mike and John knows about. We're supposed to have the participation in the IACP, which is the convention through
International
Fred.
Association of Chiefs of Police. That's a worldwide
Yes.
organization. It's
Yeah.
in Philadelphia this year in October.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're already in there, Mike. correct?
Yes,
Angela?
yes.
Oh, is that
We're
right?
anticipating.
You're on the
Yes.
program?
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
And that's contacting so many police officers,
Yes.
top police officers throughout the country, the world, really.
Yeah.
So it'll touch a lot of people.
And I just like to say that this is a compliment not only to their townships and to their police department, but it's a compliment to their families. You know, these are individuals, you know, and like I say, we're all alike. You know, you think somebody's different, but these guys are just like me. They want peace just like I do. They want a better understanding and a better future for our Americans that's living in our country.
In one of our earlier sessions, there were, I think, 3 police officers. And they commented on the experience they had when you went to a mosque.
Yes.
And the point they made was how different it was to walk in. They'd never been in a mosque before. Walk in, have to take off your shoes, observe the protocols while you're in that building. And they said that it was enlightening. It opened their eyes. They began to have a much better understanding of what it means to be a Muslim and the values of a Muslim, the framework they live in. Have you had similar experiences?
Well,
were you at the mosque?
Well, we were at the mosque also.
Oh, you
and-
were?
Yes, we were all there, and we all had the same experience going in, and I never experienced that before. You know, I went to a Catholic church, so that's what I was used to.
Yeah.
But I went into a mosque and got that whole different perspective, and got their point of view, and things that we learned from some of the women there was eye-opening and put us in discussions as far as police officers, how they react to certain things because of what we may feel threatened. And
Yes.
it just, we were able to carry that back to our officers of their customs and why things
So
are
it's
done.
been a learning experience for you as well.
Yes, absolutely.
I asked what you're going to look like in a year.
Yes.
You have a summit coming up between now and a year. When is that and where
The
is it?
summit is November the 11th, Saturday, November the 11th, from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. at the Harold O. Davis Baptist Church. That's at 10th and the Boulevard, Philadelphia, PA. And that'll be the 2nd annual Race for Peace Summit.
What is it?
What is the
Where you
summit?
bring everybody together?
Yes, that's another gathering. You know, summit means what it says, right? Summit. We're going to summons people, you know, so we'll be summoning the police officers that we were able to get in contact with at the convention, more clergy, more government officials, and of course, we're going to start tapping into the other organizations that are just like us. So we're all one. You know, we don't have to have 100 different
So what does that mean,
Organizations.
other organizations that are just
well,
like
there's
us?
other organizations.
Other
There's
nonprofit organizations?
Other organizations that's their goal is nonviolent. Their goal is to bring race relations together. You know, so that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing, and we're doing it now. As we're talking on this program today, we do our success and our results is immediate.
But up to now, Race for Peace has been, with the help of 100 and some people, Race for Peace has been one maniac, namely you. with this burning conviction you have that you've got something now and it can make a difference, and it is making a difference.
Yes.
What are you doing to surround yourself to build an organization that you're going to need if this will truly become a movement?
Well, we're doing the same thing we've been doing. If it's not broke, don't try to fix it. So we're attracting people because they naturally, I say it all the time, everybody has the race for peace in them. It's drawing it out of them.
Yes.
It's having them participate. It's having them being involved. And they could just look at us as an example. One man with one plan,
Yes.
which went to another individual,
Right.
who picked up on it, who passed it to another individual. So it's working.
It's a great model.
It's working. So, you know, when people think of what can we do, how can we do it, just look at us.
And just to add to that, you know, as we reach out just not to law enforcement agencies, we've had, for instance, the Chaplains Association for Delaware County.
Yes.
We reached out to them, and they immediately jumped aboard. Reached out to private companies, and they've shown support.
Yes.
We have, so we kind of put together a loose group of, I would call them directors of the movement, meet monthly in Lower Merion Township,
Yes.
and we talk about setting up the
Oh, I didn't know that.
additional
It's
events.
great.
who to reach out to, when can we coordinate the everybody being there? What are we going to do to customize into each
Yeah.
of those events?
That's great. I didn't realize you moved to that step where you're starting to coalesce and bring some other people into the management of Race for Peace, which you're going to need to grow it. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being here today. Really appreciate it. And as always, Andrew, you keep bringing them on. Let's talk to more and more people and spread the word.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks, Rick.
God bless you.
Thanks, Rick. Until next time, this is, I am Rick Anthony, rather. This is Race for Peace, and this is the man, Andrew Howell. Until next time, take very good care of yourselves.